Knock knock. Who's there? The Batman Who Laughs. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Graphic Content. I'm your host Ted Kendrick, and today I want to talk about the Batman Who Laughs. This is the collection of the 7-issue miniseries that was written by Scott Snyder with art by Jock. The two of them have worked together in the past on the comic book Batman Black Mirror, which was during the pre-Flashpoint, post-Final Crisis era of Batman comics, during the time where Bruce Wayne was missing through time and Dick Grayson took up the mantle of Batman. So Batman Black Mirror was the first time Snyder and Jock collaborated together for a Batman story. They also did a small story arc for the All-Star Batman book. Snyder and Jock have also worked together on the Witches horror comic for Image, which is a really fun one too. But yeah, Batman Who Laughs, this is a character who has gotten really popular in the last year or two of his existence. He premiered in the DC Metal comic series as its main villain. He's basically the chief of a group of alternate universe Batman that were all serving the Bat God Barbados. That sounds pretty complicated because it's really heady, but it's an evil Batman from basically the upside down of the multiverse. Evil sort of parallel universes that were never supposed to exist, nightmares of the DC universe that we know. He led a group of various Batmen who mainly overtook the sort of powers and abilities of other people in their world. So there was a Batman who killed the Flash and took on his super speed and became the Red Death. Batman Who Laughs is a similar concept, where it's a Batman from Earth -22, which is, I guess, a parallel cousin to Kingdom Come's Earth 22. There isn't really anything about that in the Batman Who Laughs origin story that was part of the Dark Knight's Rising arc of Metal, but in his origin story, Batman gets to the point where he does kill the Joker, finally defeats the villain, but upon the Joker's death, he releases a super toxin that infects Batman and basically turns Bruce Wayne's mind into the psychopath of the Joker's. Someone with the best of Batman, his intellect, his strength and abilities, but with the worst of the Joker's insanity. So the two of them together creates the Batman Who Laughs, and he leaves his dying world in the negative multiverse, the dark multiverse, and finds his way under the wing, literally, of Barbados, and he collects various other Batman from the multiverse. So that all happened in the DC Metal comic series that came out in 2018. This was a follow-up series by the same writer, Scott Snyder. Basically, after Metal, the Batman Who Laughs ran around comics for a little bit. He ran into the Immortal Men before getting scooped up by the Legion of Doom in the Justice League series, where Luthor interrogates the Batman Who Laughs for information regarding the source wall and the parallel universes that exist beyond it. The Joker of the regular universe is kind of listening in the whole time, and he does not trust Batman Who Laughs. It makes him very uncomfortable to have that sort of character exist in the DC universe alongside the Joker. The Joker warns Lex not to get involved with them, but after a short time, Batman Who Laughs escapes their capture anyway, eventually makes his way to Gotham, where he torments Batman some more, which is the events of this miniseries. The Batman Who Laughs, he's continued to take Bruce Wayne's from the multiverse, and at the start of the story arc, he's littering them all over Gotham. So Batman keeps finding these various dead Bruce Waynes, as do the GCPD, and Batman knows it's the Batman Who Laughs behind him. I'm gonna start calling him BWL. No, I'm not. Whatever, we'll figure out a way to... There's a bunch of dead Bruce Waynes. Batman realizes quickly who's behind it, and he tries to track Batman Who Laughs down. Batman Who Laughs also has the help of the Grim Knight, who is a Bruce Wayne from a parallel world who became obsessed with the gun that killed his parents, to the point where he's kind of a Punisher type character with a huge arsenal and goes around killing a bunch of people with guns. So the Grim Knight is an interesting new character. In his world, he tortured Commissioner Gordon before finally killing him, and he's kind of doing the same to Gordon in this series, but as a direct sort of, if not a literal sequel to Batman Black Mirror, the story arc I mentioned earlier with Dick Grayson being Batman. Spoilers ahead, maybe skip this next minute or so if you intend to read the book Batman Black Mirror. Highly recommend it. The main villain in that series was revealed to be James Gordon Jr., the son of Commissioner Jim Gordon. And so James Gordon has always been sort of a psychopath. There's even flashbacks to memories of young Barbara Gordon, who becomes Batgirl Oracle, of weird experience she had with James Gordon Jr. as a kid, but he's revealed to be a psychopath. path and has relapsed again and kind of goes on a serial killer sort of binge. James Gordon Jr. is back in The Batman Who Laughs. He's kind of recruited by Batman and Gordon. They track him down to get help understanding the psychopathy behind The Batman Who Laughs and try to see if they can understand the motives at all. It's a way for the character to kind of earn redemption with his father. Even though he's out of prison, he's tried to start his own life and pick up the pieces, and he does kind of manage to do that by the end of the series and get a little redemption. What was really cool to see between James Gordon Jr. and his father, there's a moment where they have to escape and they end up taking prototype bat suits that are just like Batman Beyond. So it's really cool to see the Batman Beyond uniform worn by Jim Gordon and his son during this modern day era. But yeah, back to Batman Who Laughs, as he's littering all these Bruce Waynes to kind of lure Batman out. They get to a point where our Bruce Wayne from the main universe realizes that the only way to defeat Batman Who Laughs is if he becomes Batman Who Laughs, literally, and has to get on his level to figure out his next move because it's that insane. The regular Batman creates the same sort of serum to turn him into the Batman Who Laughs. Throughout a couple of issues, we see his gradual transition, which is done really interestingly even in the word balloons on the comic page, because the Batman Who Laughs always speaks in black word balloons with a red outline, and as the regular Batman speaks with normal word balloon with black text, it starts to have the occasional either random red letter or red word showing that the regular Batman is slowly turning into the Batman Who Laughs. He even creates a visor, and as far as the Metal series goes, as readers, we did not know what the visor that the Batman Who Laughs wore around his eyes. We didn't know what the function was besides just looking kind of cool and punk, but we learned that it was a way to sort of harness one of his new powers from his state, is that he has a sort of enhanced eyesight where he's able to view different dark multiverse versions of things. So the visor helps him sort of focus that vision so that he's really able to see the sort of realities and stuff that he's looking for. Pretty complicated superpower, but physically it turns his eyes just sort of a red sunkenness. It looks very much like he's a blind sort of oracle, because he definitely has those visions like one. At one point during this story, we do see a pretty interesting parallel universe where Bruce Wayne becomes the leader of the Court of Owls. So you see him donning like a pretty cool looking Talon outfit. I'm all about the cool outfits in this one. That's kind of the gist of this 7-issue series. Like I said, the Grim Knight is a part of it too. He has his own special issue in this collection that goes all about his origin story. Every now and then you get to see the Rabid Robins, who were Damian Wayne from Dark Multiverse, and 2 other boys turned into these really sadistic sort of zombie Robins. In the current comics, Batman Who Laughs is terrorizing the heroes still in the Year of the Villain specials, particularly in the Batman Superman book, where he's infected a couple different heroes, his Secret Six, across the DC universe. And so far we know it's been Commissioner Gordon, as teased at the end of this 7-issue miniseries, as well as Shazam, Blue Beetle, Donna Troy, Hawkman, and Supergirl, which is a really strange mix for the Secret Six, but that's what they're going with, and that's what the Batman Who Laughs is currently up to. So he pretty soon will all culminate into this little mini series. It could just be a one-shot special called Hell Horizon, which is interesting because the initials for the comic series is HA, Ha, like the Batman Who Laughs. Kind of like if you think about Doomsday Clock by Jeff Jones. DC, like DC Comics. That's a kick that they're on lately. Yeah, Hell Horizon's coming up, and Batman Who Laughs is still doing a lot to terrorize the DCU. I hope that he sticks around for a while. He's getting action figure treatment. They just announced Batman Who Laughs figure from the Batman The Adventure Continues animated line in DC Collectibles, which is the action figures based off the Bruce Timm style cartoon. So it's really cool to see that version of the Batman Who Laughs in that style. It's got a card on the back written by Paul Dini with a little bit of this, what am I trying to say? It's got a card on the back written by Paul Dini with a snippet of story as if the Joker, or the, bleh, I just can't even finish this episode. The card has a snippet of story on the back written by Paul Dini that as if it was an episode description of what the Batman Who Laughs would be like in the DC animated universe. So that's going to be a cool feature to see on the back of there as well. Thanks again for watching graphic content. I hope you enjoyed the show. There's going to be a few more episodes coming to you soon before this sort of format gets shaken around again. We like to shake it around every couple months or so. In the meantime, feel free to check out the other videos I do for the Watchtower Database, the 12th Level Intellects podcast, which is also being shaken up real soon. It's all being shook up right now at the Watchtower Database. That's good though. It's healthy. 12th Level Intellects, you can listen to archives in that case. There's the Legacies of the DCAU webcomic. We recently did the pre-birth issue last summer, which ties into the Batman Beyond Rebirth opening episode. It's all about the last day that Bruce Wayne was Batman. It was a really fun one to write, and I have a couple other coming up pretty soon, set in the same year and the same time period in 2019. Pretty cool to be able to release those in the year 2019. Maddie Washburn does videos, James Strucker does videos. We have a Patreon if you feel like being generous. That's at patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower. And we have all these Patreons here, probably right here. They donate to us every month, and we are very grateful to have their support. Thanks again for watching graphic content. Let me know in the comments what you might like to see me review next. And yeah, I will be here.